assuming it's a lady, a lady bugged. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be
See?
yeah, it could be anything. It's 2023. It could self-identify as whatever it wants.
Well, yeah, but it's not a member of the peerage at that point, and it requires a certification, which clearly that particular insect does not, in fact, possess. Therefore, the phrase ladybug is
Mhm.
obviously a misnomer.
Right. It's 2023. It doesn't matter. It's trans insectitual.
I that got away from me. That's
Yeah, it's trans insectual insect
trans.
trans
That's
insectual, something like that.
that. That sounds troubling. Uh,
It could
I'm just
self-identify as a lion if it wants.
well, there
Roar.
are ant lions, which are
Yeah,
neither ants nor do they possess a mane.
true.
So
There are
not
rhino. There
an
are
ant
things
or a
like
lion.
there are rhino beetles.
Yeah, which are not rhinos.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and ladybugs, ladybugs, quote unquote, are technically beetles, so they're closer to rhino beetles than like bugs, actual bugs.
Yeah. But I mean my whole point with it was just like you can't say, "Oh, well it's not a thing." Well, it is a thing. It's obviously a thing. There's a
Uh-huh.
phrase for the phenomenon which makes it a thing. It's just that phrase is a misnomer. That's what the word misnomer was invented to mean, is that it's a name for a thing that actually does not accurately describe the thing. And
Like
people are
like
really
like
stupid.
like military intelligence.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, that does have something to do with the military, but certainly not intelligence because it has something to do with the military. Um, but yeah, like that's my point though, is like I was trying to explain, like, okay, yes, heat lightning is not lightning caused by heat, but it is lightning. It's just that it's distant lightning, but that is a phenomenon that can occur and has a name, and that name is heat lightning. It's not that it's not a thing, it's that that's a misnomer. But because the American education system produces people who are just
There's
dumb
another
enough.
misnomer. There's another misnomer.
Yeah,
It's
education.
not American and it's not education.
Yeah, it's actually Prussian and it
Mhm.
has nothing to do with education.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like it produces people who are so stupid that as soon as you throw a vocabulary against people who have
Yep.
graduated high school here that they should have learned by about ninth grade, they're like, I don't know what that word is. You're stupid. No, I have 8 brain cells and you have 3. So
7 of them
like
work on a good day.
yeah, like you're I hate to break it to you, but the majority of the American public is, in fact, Brick Tamlin from Anchorman.
Well, you got to remember the George Carlin line, right? Think about how dumb the average person you know is, and then realize that half of America is dumber than that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing, is like these people just they don't get it, and I'm like trying to explain the term misnomer, and they're going, well, but it's not a thing. No, that isn't. It is the thing. It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon that occurs that has a name, and it doesn't matter if the name actually is accurately describing it or not. That is the name for the phenomena. So it is still a thing. It's just that the name is a misnomer. That's what the word misnomer is. For the love of God, pick up a dictionary. I realize you're probably very scared of that book because it has lots of words that your brain is incapable of processing.
You
But I
have
assure
Google.
you, if you pick
You
it
have
up,
Google. Just Google the word.
yeah, Google the word misnomer and you will see what the fuck the word means. And at that point, you're going to go, oh, that's what that word means. Oh, that kind of sounds like this thing. Oh, does it? Does it?
Oh, Andrew's going to be on one tonight.
I just, it's not that all people are truly incapable of being halfway intelligent. It's that they don't see a need for it. And in fact, if you remember, if you think back to high school, right? If you went to high school in the United States, you think back to that, intelligent people were shunned, right? That was a
Mhm.
discouraged trait.
Nerd.
in high school. Yeah. So that's what's going on, is the people who may be capable of greater intelligence were so actively discouraged for so long from being intelligent and demonstrating that intelligence that they actively suppress their ability to comprehend anything more complex than Cardi B lyrics.
Yeah, and don't forget there's also the psychological phenomenon of everybody living in their own echo chambers. That people get into the mindset, or not necessarily get into the mindset, but don't ever come to the ability to understand the fact that they don't know what they don't know, or they don't understand, or they don't comprehend that they know so very little because of this echo chamber. Because the echo chamber keeps saying, yes, yes, king, yes, queen, yes, you're right, rah, rah, rah. Here's a little heart emoji. That people, when they hear things outside of that echo chamber, it causes them physical discomfort.
Well, yeah, and we saw the right again going back to high school. You saw that back in high school, like when you would grade each other's papers, and all the popular kids were scared to mark down each other's papers, right? For things that, even the things that were wrong and obviously wrong and poorly written, they were still scared to do anything about it because, well, no, we all have got to build each other up, because let's just give a trophy to Johnny because he showed up for baseball. He fell down when he tried to pick up the bat and never got back up, but he still tried, so he gets a trophy too. Like that's the world that we live in now. And
thank God I was out of school before that happened.
Oh, dude, it was so freaking bad. Like, I can remember that crap happening all the time, where I'd be like I grade somebody's paper and like you have to read, and I'm like, this is spelling mistake, incorrect grammar, this is the wrong punctuation, this is a run-on sentence, you're rambling, you sound like a complete retard. And I go through all that, and then meanwhile, everyone else's papers, oh no, they're just fine. And mine I'd have marks on it where like I'd look at the person who graded it and I'd be like, that doesn't make sense though. Like it doesn't make sense. You're trying to mark that down because you don't understand what the word means. Like, and then the teacher would be on their side for everything and then yell at me for grading that other person's paper low. And I'm like, fine. I just don't care. Like you're an idiot who is producing a bunch more idiots. Yes. And this is why one day I will be one of the most powerful human beings in the world, because I actually am intelligent and you are easily manipulated.
Yep. That's what they are. They're Prussian system zombies.
Yeah, because it punishes nonconformity. And one of the things to be conforming is to be stupid.
Yes.
There's that famous line in Men in Black, right? With no, people can be smart.
Yes.
A person can be smart. Yes. People as a group are dumb, panicky pack animals.
Yes. That's why propaganda is so powerful.
And xenophobia. Oh, those other people. It's those other people.
Those other people. Yes. Those fucking crazy ass people.
Yeah, those mysterious others. Oh,
yes. Hello. We're like 9 minutes into it now. Hello. Welcome to another. I don't know. I don't want to say fantastic because I don't know yet. Welcome to another. You're here. Yay. Anarchy Among Friends Roundtable discussion.
There's the potential for fantasticness, I guess.
We do have 2 articles that have potential for a lot of fantasticness. We'll get into that later, but one of them we're going to talk about Hunter Biden writing off prostitutes on his tax returns. So that
if I had known that I could do that. It was a networking meeting. They were entertainment.
Yeah, we were networking. Yes.
It's a business expense.
Yes. Podcast is produced by Bipcot. pipcot.org. Go read that. And then Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969, which ruled that the government cannot punish inflammatory speech unless that speech is, quote, directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. Therefore, everything said here on Anarchy Among Friends Roundtable Discussion is entirely hypothetical. Yeah, so this is episode 224. I don't have a name for it yet, so we'll figure out something later.
That should just be the title. We'll figure out something later.
Yeah. Misnomers.
Just leave it that way. We'll figure out something later. We didn't say how much later.
Yes.
Did not specify.
Let's insert title here. No. How hot is it up there still?
Heat wise, it's only like 75 now. But humidity wise,
I saw the other day it was like 94.
Yeah, it was really nasty. Like yesterday was really nasty. And the humidity got really, really bad. Like it got to the point where it was like, I think my car said 104 on its little temperature thing, and it was like 84% humidity.
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
Yep, in Wisconsin.
In western Wisconsin. Which I'm sure just all those cheese or all that those butter sculptures, I'm sure they just love the heat.
I would assume they do those in some sort of refrigerated facility, but if not, well, that's gonna take a turn.
Yeah, we were doing good. It was only like 72 today, but now there's a grass fire a few miles south of town, so the sky is kind of smoking up a little bit. I could smell it. Can't taste it yet. So it's only a small one. It's only about 100 acres.
Yeah, that's the other nice thing about where we're at is that we also still have an air quality warning.
There's that fire is still burning.
I know, and it's so it's 100 degrees, 80% humidity, and the air is full of Canadian wildfire smoke.
Yeah. Welcome to California.
No, I don't want it. No, that's a terrible idea. I don't want it. And it's only June, right? And July and August are hotter. So,
yep. Yeah, we still haven't. We're at what's this? June 25th. We still haven't had a 100-degree day yet. I don't know how. But we still got there's still one of the ski resorts is still open. They only got like 3 runs going, but one of the ski resorts in Tahoe is still open.
2005 just got all the hot out right now.
Oh man.
I was always a bigger fan of Beale.
No,
I was always more into Beale than Elba. I don't.
Go watch the movie Honey and tell me.
I'm just saying, I was always more into Jessica Biel and Jessica Alba.
No, go watch the movie Honey. It'll change your mind.
Yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, thanks, Dave. 2005 Jessica Alba hot outside right now. Yeah. That'll be, I don't know, that might be the title. But all right, where do you want to start?
Man, I don't know.
Oh, let's start with the Amazon one.
Sure.
Because I know you love that smart tech stuff.
Oh God.
Did you read?
Yeah, this one.
Did you look at this one?
I heard something about it. I did not read this specific.
Okay.
Article.
Amazon shut down customers' smart home for a week after delivery driver claimed he heard racist slur through the Ring doorbell, even though no one was home. Think about that for just a second. So Amazon reportedly shut down a customer's smart home after a delivery driver claimed he heard a racial slur coming through the doorbell, even though no one was home. Brandon Jackson of Baltimore, Maryland, came home on May 25th to find out that he had been locked out of his Amazon Echo, which many devices, including his lights, are connected to. He would later learn that Amazon locked him out of his account after a delivery driver dropped off a package the day before. Jackson, an engineer at Microsoft, said, quote, everything seemed fine after the package arrived at his home and had initially thought he was locked out because someone had tried to access my account repeatedly, triggering a lockout. But none of that was true. A representative directed him to an email he received from an executive that provided a phone number to call. When he called the number, he was told in a, quote, somewhat accusatory tone that the driver had reported, quote, receiving racist remarks from his doorbell.
What as we say this, you should probably look at what Brandon Jackson looks like.
Yes. Quote, this incident left me with a house full of unresponsive devices, a silent Alexa, and a lot of questions, he wrote. Jackson, who is black, said most of the neighborhood and its delivery drivers are also African American, and it would be, quote, highly unlikely that we would make such remarks.
A little bit.
Quote, finally, when I asked what time the alleged incident occurred, I realized it was practically impossible for anyone in my house to have made these comments, as nobody was home around the time. After reviewing doorbell footage, he learned the pop-up ad. After reviewing the doorbell footage, he learned the device had given an automatic response saying, excuse me, can I help you? He also said the video showed the driver had been wearing headphones during the interaction and, quote, must have misinterpreted the message.
How do you misinterpret, excuse me, can I help you, as a racist remark? How dumb are you? Again, we circle back to people have IQs equivalent with more mayonnaise.
Yes. The next day, he was completely locked out of his account, and it was, quote, rendered unusable during the internal investigation. The Baltimore native claimed he had sent over video evidence to Amazon and didn't hear back for days. When he did, he was told it would take 2 business days to resolve. It wasn't until 6 days later he regained access to his account with no follow-up email to inform me of the resolution, which he says, quote, had led me to questioning my relationship with Amazon.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, dude, you're an engineer for Microsoft. You know this is why you don't have smart tech. This is why you eschew it entirely. You know that because you know this is possible.
He was locked out of his. He couldn't get into his house. Start that off. He couldn't get into his house because of the smart lock. So he finally gets access to his house, and he can't turn on the lights because they're connected to the Amazon Echo. Right? So think about all the things that are connected to smart devices, right? Like we have like TVs on the refrigerators now, right? We have remotes that you speak into. We have lights and cameras and just all these things that are connected via things like Amazon Echo, Alexa, things like that. That a flip of a switch, and this guy was locked out of them for a week.
This is why guys like me and Chris, who may or may not be on the show later, this is why we as tech guys do not use any of this stuff, because we know how easy it is. Even if it wasn't some social credit score bullshit like this.
I was going to bring that term up.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't that, a hacker could very, very easily be like, look at me. This is my house now. Like that's how easy it would be.
A digital squatter.
Just take over your box, take over your lights, take over your TV.
Remember a couple of years ago, there was the right before the Super Bowl, there was a bunch of TVs that were taken over and held for ransom.
Yep.
Right. Just think about that. Like
imagine your entire house.
A digital squatter taking over your house and literally holding your house for ransom.
Well, we already know, right, with the key fobs,
Uh-huh.
right? The proximity key fobs
Mhm.
for cars with about $400
Automatic,
and an
automatic,
afternoon.
automatic, garage door openers. Same thing.
Yeah. With about $400 and an
Mhm.
afternoon, I can create a booster that will boost the signal
Yep.
from your key fob high enough
Mhm.
that your car will think that the key is in proximity, will start, and I
Yep.
can drive away.
Yep.
With $1,200 and a couple of days, I can create a device that will replicate the signal from your key, and your
Mhm.
car will just keep thinking the key is in it. And I can just drive it all I want.
Yep.
So if I can do that with that cheap and available a technology for your car, imagine when your house is all set up on the same tech, what I could do to you as a hacker.
Yes.
Why would you set yourself up for that if you are an engineer at Microsoft? You know how easy this stuff
Yeah.
is to break into.
You know, you absolutely, like, you work in this technology. You know how dangerous and how vulnerable this stuff is. And one person in a in some warehouse in the middle of nowhere, probably overseas, gets a report and flips and presses a button on the keyboard, and you're locked out of your house.
Here's the other thing, right? Amazon did this because Amazon felt offended on behalf of the driver. They
Yes.
shouldn't have, right? Because
Yes.
nothing was said, and the driver is a moron. But here's the thing, though. Look at how many people say negative things about Jeff Bezos or about Amazon and its treatment of workers. Imagine
Yep.
you have all this tech. Amazon, through your wiretap, I mean, Alexa,
Mhm.
hears
Or Echo.
you say something negative
Uh-huh.
about them and decides, well, fine, then you don't get to use our services. And you can't use your lights or your
I
your
just
locks anymore or
I
anything because
I
you said
just
something mean about Amazon.
I hear the lolberts going, but it's a private company.
Yeah. And you know what? I agree. It's a private company, but here's the thing. You're putting yourself willingly in the position to do that. Why are
Oh.
you that dumb? Why are you that dumb? Why would you do that thing? Because first of all, the way Amazon operates is it barely even remotely private.
Yeah,
And second of
it's
all,
not private.
yeah, and second of all, even if it was, right? Even if it truly operated totally privately, again, why would you set yourself up for this? Look at how many lefties, right? How many lefties do we all know who will screech
Mhm.
and about Jeff Bezos
Yep.
openly
Yep.
and then still use Amazon tech?
Yep.
Well, imagine Amazon decides, well, you don't like us, so I guess you don't get to use your door locks or your lights or anything anymore. Oops.
Yep. Or your Amazon account, or any of the
Yeah.
fucking tons and tons and tons of programs that are on Amazon servers. Like
Yeah.
Amazon server warehouse is massive. I'm pretty sure it rivals NSA in terms of size.
Oh, it's I mean, they have how many server farms?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous how much computing power they actually have.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that also means, like, think about it. If you, let's say you have 5 friends who have this stuff in their house, right? And they all have Ring doorbells and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And you move from house to house and you're talking and everything else. And it's an AI can create an algorithm
Yep.
that figures out what your opinions are, what your
Yep.
feelings are, everything else based on all the little snippets that it hears, all the activities that you do. And then they can use that to predict whether or not you're likely to become a terrorist or something.
Yeah, which they already
And
do. Which they already do.
yeah, which they already do. They already look at your digital shadow and do that. So
Yep.
imagine that they go beyond the digital shadow. Now they're actively monitoring you
Yep.
through all of the smart home stuff.
Yeah, into a social credit score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how stupid to have all this shit.
Now add in a CBDC, central bank digital currency. You said something racist through your Ring doorbell. So we're going to shut off your house for a week, and we're going to prevent you from using any of your digital currency.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
It'd actually be super easy, and
People
realistically,
people get unbanked all the time.
well,
Right?
imagine
By unbanked, I mean a bank will say, no, we don't want to use, we don't want you as a customer anymore, and you go in the little black book, right?
well, look at
That happens.
Amazon. You can get an Amazon card, and you have an Amazon account that you can load money onto, right? Like
Mhm.
PayPal, same thing. You can load a ton of money on that, and
Yep.
PayPal's always harassing you if you use PayPal at all, right? And a whole
Mhm.
bunch of us do because we buy stuff off of eBay. If you use PayPal, well, PayPal can decide that they don't like what you're buying and
Yep.
selling and then just lock you out. If you have actually listened to all that they harass you about, using the PayPal prepaid debit card as your bank and blah, blah. So all your money's in their hands, and then they lock you out of your account because they don't like the fact that you bought 3 gun parts this month.
Yep.
You have no money now. They're holding it all hostage.
Yeah, don't forget
But now,
BlackRock's now buying Bitcoin too, so there goes your Bitcoin wallet also.
yeah, and then imagine though, like, you're not only is all your money gone, but your house is locked and your lights won't come on and
Yep.
your car won't
your
start.
Tesla won't start.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And now what are you going to do? You have been unpersoned in the blink of an eye with the push of a button.
Yep. Your car won't let you turn into the gun shop parking lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can't.
That's an undesirable location.
And you can't get around it because you're going to have your cell phone in your pocket. So they're just going to track that. Nope, that went into the gun store parking lot. So sorry.
Yep. Now you can't get into your house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. And the only thing that'll play on the TV is Shark Baby.
And you know that it would be run by like Mark Zuckerberg. So then he'd be like, "Oh, by the way, we just uncovered this thing
and he's gonna be real. Yeah, and he's gonna be really upset. He's gonna be even worse after Elon beats him up.
I'm so jealous about the fact that Elon Musk gets to punch that guy in the face.
Oh my goodness!
I honestly
really hope that happens.
I don't care what else happens at all. I don't care about the outcome. Anything, as long as I get to watch Elon Musk land one good right hook directly to the face of Mark Zuckerberg, that'll be worth it right there. I will pay $500 for that pay-per-view to get to watch that happen.
That's going to be the most pirated fight in history. Yes.
Well, and it's the article, by the way, then says that he's considering severing ties with Amazon and using Raspberry Pi for any of his smart tech. You mean like you probably should have been the entire time there, Mr. Engineer Man?
Yep. Close the circuit.
Gee.
Yep.
But even that's hackable.
Yeah. If it's connected to the internet, it's hackable.
Well, Raspberry Pi is all open source, which means it's even more freaking hackable.
That's true. Yeah. So, all right, where do you want to go now?
I don't know. That was a fun tirade, though. And
yep.
Well, just give all of your will over to the machines. That works out so well in movies. If you watched The Matrix and thought, "Oh, why not me?"
Yep. John Connor is very upset with us right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe since we're going from that, we should go to the Twig Pigs one because
Twig Pigs, go to Virginia.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Did you read this?
I mean, I've seen other articles that are similar. I don't know if I've seen this one.
Virginia wildlife officials trespassed on man's land and stole his trail cameras. Yes. Virginia
Ugh.
homeowner is suing state game wardens. Allegedly, they trespassed on his property and stole his camera without a warrant, adding to growing pushback from landowners who say the government agents shouldn't be able to surveil private property. Duh.
You mean like what the Constitution literally fucking says?
Yeah. Quote, it's almost like we've got a situation where they think their power is limitless. And I just don't feel like that's right. That's from
That's literally
Josh Highlander, the property owner.
that's literally the third article we have had in as many shows with a quote almost exactly like that.
Yes.
in it.
Last week it was, or last time it was the bear with the camera. And then
Yeah.
we had one, I think, before that too, with oh, I don't know, I can't think that far back. But yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I feel like that's like the third one with the they
Yeah.
feel like their power's limitless and
Yep.
it's not supposed to be. Gee, it's almost like people are finally waking up to the reality that they've just ignored the problem long enough and barked the blue for long enough that finally they're like, oh, they think they can do anything now. Well, yeah, because you let them get away with anything they wanted for
Yep.
decades.
Yep. Highlander's property spans nearly 30 acres in New Kent County, Virginia, and is ringed with no trespassing signs. I actually read in another article that he bought 108 no trespassing signs and put those up on his boundary. On April 8th, the first day of turkey hunting season, his wife and 6-year-old son were playing basketball when the ball rolled toward the edge of the woods. When they went to retrieve it, they saw someone dressed in full camouflage walking among the trees. His wife rushed their son inside to get Highlander. Quote, my wife has got like panic in her eyes, he said. But when we went outside to search the property, thinking it may have been a hunter, he couldn't find anyone. He later realized that one of his trail cameras, located about 150 yards from the house, was missing. When Highlander reported it stolen, the sheriff's department told him the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources, DWR, had taken the camera and would reach out to Highlander. More than 2 months later, Highlander said he has not received any information from the DWR. No, Hunter or Highlander said DWR may be searching for cameras for evidence of hunting violations. Earlier on April 8th, Highlander's brother was cited for, quote, hunting over bait in a different county. Agents said they found seeds in the field where he was turkey hunting and determined that they were bait, but Highlander's brother is contesting the ticket. Quote, the basic principle here is that if we as ordinary people can't sneak onto someone else's land and steal their camera, the government agents shouldn't be able to do that either, not without a warrant.
Yeah, I mean, this is because it's not like they plant, and this is their argument, right? They didn't plant the cameras. The cameras were already there. They just stole his private property off of his private property without a warrant on a fishing expedition.
Not only that, but they reported that they took it because when he called the police said, oh, DWR has it. Which means that they took it and admitted that they took it to the point that other law enforcement agencies knew that they took it. Which, without a warrant, that seems even worse. But Highlander's lawsuit against WR filed this month challenges a nearly 100-year-old Supreme Court ruling that Fourth Amendment protection against warrantless searches and seizures does not apply to open fields, even if they are surrounded by fences or no trespassing signs. A few states have extended Fourth Amendment protection to privately owned land beyond the curtilage of the home, but Virginia is not one of them. We talked about this before.
Yeah, I was going to say, we talked about this before.
Tennessee,
this is an issue.
In Tennessee, where it was the same sort of thing, but the wildlife resources there put cameras on the property to watch him, and he took the cameras down, and they wanted to charge him, and then there was the whole open fields argument, quote unquote open fields, and basically what it means is like you have your home, or your what they call the center of the residence, right? So you have like your home and your shop and your garage, right? The areas that you are 90% of the time, and within like 200 feet of that or something like that is considered your home, quote unquote, and everything else is considered open field. And according to the law, Department of Wildlife Resources, twig pigs, national forests, things like that, they can trespass on that lawn on your property in order to monitor activities in quote open fields. So
Yeah.
this camera was 150 yards away from his house. That would be outside of that residential curtilage or whatever it's called. So this was
Yeah, unless
technically
he
out in a
had
quote open field.
some sort of irregularly used structure which was nearby.
Yeah, but this was a food plot. This was overlooking a food plot. It's a game camera overlooking a food plot. Virginia DWR website encourages food plots, so there's no issue with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So they literally stole his camera in an effort to look for hunting violations because his brother in a different county got a ticket because they found some seeds in a field where he was hunting.
Yeah, because his brother, somebody who he was not hunting with, his brother is accused of doing something. Because remember, he's appealed it, right? Like this is still under judicial review. He's not even convicted.
Yes.
So his brother is accused of doing something, which then they felt meant that they were allowed to go onto his private property, steal his private property with no warrant or articulatable probable cause, to then look for probable cause,
yes,
to then get a warrant. That's what this is. This is the kind of thing that England did pretty obviously in the 1770s in the United States, what would become the United States. And it didn't work out well for them.
Yes.
Didn't work out well.
I mean, to the point where, like, the Third Amendment, I don't want you on my property at all.
Yeah, to the point where, hey, there's a holiday coming up very shortly to celebrate what happened as a direct result of things like that.
Where they shot people in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as I said, not this article, but another article I read on it said that he bought 108 no trespassing signs and ringed them around his property. It's 30-acre property, nearly 30 acres. So 108 isn't, too obscure, but 108 no trespassing signs around his 30-acre property. So it's you can't really just wander onto the property without seeing one of these signs.
Yeah, you deliberately crossed a fence, crossed a no trespassing sign line. You knew you were on private property in order to go get these, which you know are not your property.
Yes. Yes.
Because it might possibly contain evidence of hunting violations that you don't even know about. That is the definition of a fishing expedition. That is a thing the Supreme Court has said quite a bit about not being allowed over the years.
Yes. And he's already on. So this happened, what is it, April 8th or whatever it was, I think I said, when this happened. Where'd it go? Yeah, April 8th. And the Institute for Justice is already on his case. So IJ.org is already on his back. So, but the suit seeks just $1 in damages from the 3 conservation police officers accused of trespassing on his property, reimbursement of the Highlanders' quote cost and expenses, in order for DWR to return his camera and destroy any images it recorded, and an injunction that permanently bars wildlife officials from searching Highlander's property without a warrant or his consent moving forward. Quote, I don't care about the money. I care about the principle and it not happening to someone else. It's a quote from Mr. Highlander.
For legal reasons, I'm not allowed to say my opinion on this particular thing.
My lawyer has advised me to not
Yeah.
comment on this one too much. But
what I can say is, again, that the British did the same thing to the 13 colonies, and it didn't work out hot for them.
Yes. So, and according to this article, the DWR still hasn't reached out to him at all. So April 8th is when it happened. I'm sure that's when he called, maybe April 10th. So that's what, April, May, June, what, 4, 8, 10 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they still haven't returned his camera or reached out to him or gotten any sort of information from the DWR.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. They just stole his property and then went, oh, we'll call you. And nothing.
Yeah. Because his brother got a ticket in a neighboring county for hunting. And they found some seeds in the field. And they said, oh, well, you baited it then. Right? Like the DWR website encourages food plots. Food plots are literally baiting. I don't understand the distinction.
It's, well, remember that, like, the DWR, Fish and Game, DNR, whoever the Twig Pigs happen to call them, whatever they happen to call themselves in your state. Remember that their rules are just as arbitrary as the ATF's rules are.
Yes. Yes. More. I would say in a lot of cases, I would say more so, more arbitrary, because the ATF, in regards to the Second Amendment, has more light shining on it. More people are concerned with it. Whereas the Twig Pigs, right, it kind of takes a back seat to a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing, though, is like, you know, this kind of behavior is the definition of arbitrary and capricious, right? Where there is no asking the government to return stolen property. IRS enters the chat with side eye. But I mean, that's the thing, is like, they just make it up as they go along, right? And then they just come up with stuff. Like, look at the fact that if they decide that you have caught certain fish that are outside of what the legal limit is, they can take your house, they can take your car.
Yep. Yeah. If you take your truck to the lake and catch a fish outside the legal limit, they can confiscate the fish, the tackle, and the vehicle used to transport you there.
Yep.
And they love
anything
to do
that touches that fish.
And they love to do that, which is just insane. Insane.
Which is why I always tell people, if you're going to go fishing, ride a bike there.
Yeah.
Because then what are they going to do? They confiscate a bike. Oh, I'm out $50 because I bought it at a garage sale. Bite me.
I have different advice on that. I can't.
Yeah, for legal reasons, any other advice is unavailable at this time. However, you can probably use your imagination. Like, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like, this is what keeps happening. And it's the fact that all these people for years and years and years have been like, well, back the blue, ho ho, well, we got your six, and have let them get away with anything and everything. They watch them on video commit
blatant murder. They're just stopping poachers.
Yeah, they watch these people on video commit blatant murder and then go, but what's the rest of the story?
Yeah.
That is why. That right there, that stuff, that behavior is why they think they can do anything, because they've been allowed to do anything. Have been applauded and called heroes as they continue to trample all over everyone's rights.
which I have to bring this up now because it just popped into my mind. So Idaho, the Idaho GOP, right? You know, there's a big difference between a Republican and a conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Idaho has been in control by the Republican Party for I think it's like 12 or 15 years, solidly in control of the Republican Party, but a lot of them are rhinos. The conservatives finally took back the power in the Idaho GOP. One of the first things they did was pass a resolution unanimously, unanimously, the Idaho GOP unanimously, like 217 to 0, to condemn the FBI as being lawless and unconstitutional and called for their removal from the state of Idaho.
These motherfuckers are gonna cause J. Edgar Hoover to rise from the fucking dead.
Oh
You don't
my
want
God.
zombie J. Edgar Hoover.
I saw that and I had really good dreams
It's I
that
mean,
I can't talk about publicly.
more of that, please. If we could have more of what they just did, like in more states, that would be phenomenal.
Yes.
Like more states going, no, we don't want you. You're banned from the state. We want nothing to do with you. We don't need you. Go away.
Yes. Yeah, we have a an ATF article. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about
It's
an
not
ATF article.
it's not real quick. It's not real quick. No, okay, we'll wait. We'll wait on that one. We're gonna talk about Hunter Biden. Before we got into this, I have to say this is kind of gangster. I have respect for this because
Dude,
I am pro theft evasion.
Hunter, I will say, for as much of a horrific piece of shit as Hunter Biden is, he's a horrific
Yes.
piece of shit.
Yes.
He is fucking one of the most OG gangster motherfuckers I have ever heard of. Like the shit he has done. I'm like, damn, dude. Like,
Yeah, Hunter Biden tried
shit.
to deduct sex club membership and prostitutes on taxes. Hunter Biden illegally deducted over $100,000 in payments toward a sex club membership and prostitute from his taxes, according to congressional testimony given by two IRS whistleblowers. An anonymous IRS criminal investigator and supervisory agent Gary Shapley alleged Hunter Biden deducted $106,000 by writing off sexual affairs as business expenses. The White House,
homie.
the House, the House Ways and Means Committee released documents on Thursday painting the criminal investigation of President Biden's son. Quote, some of the items he deducted were personal no-show employees. He deducted payments that were made to who he called his, quote, West Coast assistant, but she was essentially a prostitute.
Oh, she was assisting him.
Yes. Shapley told the committee that Hunter booked several flights for prostitutes. Quote, there were multiple examples of prostitutes that were ordered, basically, and we have all the communications between that when he would pay for these prostitutes, who would book them for flights, where even the flight ticket showed their name, and then he expensed those to this consulting firm, Oswasco PC, Shapley said in his testimony.
Dude, how gangster are you that you got prostitutes to fly to you?
Yes.
Like,
hold on. The anonymous IRS employee talked about how the president's son listed a deposit for a sex club membership in Los Angeles, California, as quote golf membership instead.
I mean, he was still playing with balls, you know. Balls and holes were still involved.
Yes, quote, he made payments. There's an $18,000 wire that is made to one of these individuals, and on the wires they say $8,000 in wage and $10,000 in golf. $10,000 golf
the back nine holes.
Oh, yes.
Was that the front 9 holes or the back 9 holes? Both of them.
Yes.
That was a full 18. Crack is a hell of a drug.
That's a lot of money to get your balls washed.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh,
I mean,
man. Quote, he went to the sex club and we talked to the person that owned the sex club and they confirmed he was there. And the guy has to pay $10,000 and the girl, whoever he was referring to him there, doesn't have to pay anything. So that was deducted on the tax return. Hunter Biden's tax return also showed an expense made, quote, to one of his girlfriends listed as, quote, golf club membership. So, yeah, he went out and followed that money and it led to the sex club membership in LA. So, yeah, I'm just saying that's kind of gangster.
Dude, that's... What? Like... where did that motherfucker buy his audacity? Because I need to shop there. Because
I don't know.
You
that's a lot of money to get someone to play with your little Happy Gilmore.
Well, oh, he just he needed to work on his handicap.
Play it as it lies.
Oh. Weirdly, it's reverse golf rules.
Reverse golf rules, yeah.
So the more swings you take, the better, actually, in that particular golf club. Hey, you swing in a golf club, you swing at that club. It's kind of like the same thing.
Oh God.
You think he had a caddy?
A caddy. The term sand wedge is going through my head.
Oh shoot!
Putt from the rough.
Oh,
I mean, $106,000 written off on prostitutes and sex club membership, and I just I keep saying it, but that's kind of gangster. Right? I am pro theft evasion, and I really have no issue with this. Consenting adults do what consenting adults want. Fuck the IRS, right? Stealing from him. But I thought that was hilarious.
Who pays? Really? Are sex clubs always that expensive? Like, I don't. $10,000?
Well, okay. So if it's $10,000, that means he spent $96,000 on prostitutes.
Good God. Those better be some high-end freaking prostitutes.
That's
man.
That's $8,000 a month.
Those are some Jordan Belfleur level prostitutes right there. That's some high-end hooker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're Hunter Biden, people know what they're partying with.
I suppose, yeah. But like, dude, $96,000 on hookers.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, on his West Coast assistant.
His West Coast assistant. Oh, she assisted his coast.
She helped him work on his swing.
Yeah, like I said, she had to help him reduce his handicap a bit there. It's my God, the only golf course where you want to have hardwood floors, it's linoleum. It's linoleum. You want to be able to just hose that off. Hardwood ain't the way to go. Sealed concrete, maybe. You just pressure wash it afterwards. But I mean, $10,000 for a set? Like, how? That is an expensive place.
Oh wait, are you jealous? Or are you just?
Did you have to go to a $10,000 sex club? Hell yeah, I'm fucking jealous.
In Los Angeles.
Why would I not be?
In Los Angeles.
It's LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's LA, it's a $10,000 sex club in LA. Like, maybe they got some of the girls from like Brazzers and stuff there. Like, I could see where that would be $10,000 like for an annual membership. because that's, you know, I mean, at that point,
aspiring actresses.
yeah, it's, you know, now you too can.
Yeah. Well, with so much pornography shoots moving to Las Vegas, they got to do something else in LA, right?
Well, Vegas and Miami, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's my God, that is some serious bank spent on poon. I'm just saying, like,
It's
wow,
yeah, it's not a spank bank.
that's dude.
Yeah, Buckshot says you should call and see if they have a vet discount.
Well, apparently you need to be referred by a girl.
Huh?
So
Well, get a hold of Josh. I'm sure he knows someone. He's from that area.
You want to refer me over and
yeah, deducted payments that were made to someone who he called his West Coast assistant.
It makes me laugh so hard they called her his West Coast assistant.
Well, that the existence of a West Coast assistant applies to the existence of an East Coast assistant.
He's probably got a Gulf Coast assistant.
Yeah. Ukrainian assistant.
Yeah. Oh, he's got several Ukrainian assistants, no doubt. Them Eastern European girls, man. I don't blame him. I'd also have several Ukrainian assistants if it could.
Oh man.
You seen chicks in the Ukraine? I mean, I'm just saying.
No. Colombian house hookers.
Columbia house hookers. Yeah, but then you're only paying $1 for the beginning of your membership, and
yeah.
And
that's not, you know, that's 106,000. That's not including all the cost of the nose candy.
Yeah, plus all the blow, all the crack.
Mm-hmm.
At least you didn't have to pay for the crack pipes. You probably got those free in Los Angeles.
Yeah, they have vending machines where they give it out.
You know, we wouldn't want you smoking a crack pipe that may be unhealthy.
Yeah, free needle exchange programs.
The needles at least kind of make sense, but like, you're not gonna get like, what do you?
I know
it's glass, man, and you're heating it up, and it
cauterizing the glass.
Yeah, what are you like? Where are you putting that pipe that you need to be worried about that?
Not all sex clubs built the same. Who knows?
I was going to say, although it's a $10,000 sex club, so who knows? It's,
I don't know, that West Coast assistant. Who knows?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of crazy shit y'all get up to on the West Coast. So
we are all nice and pure out here.
I know that ain't true.
It's literally called the City of Angels. Okay.
I'm just going to point out Lucifer was once an angel.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah, we can't all have that good Windusy like you Wisconsin cats.
Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Yeah. Did you see that that comment on that post from our I made from the last show? That bottom comment, it got more attention than the actual post that I made.
No, what was
it? Said if your brother goes after the Windusy, gets caught and turned and becomes a Wendigo, are you honor bound to go after his Windusy? And that one actually got more attention than the initial comment on the discussion.
Which is
and everyone agreed. Everyone said yes, you are honor bound. So if you go after the Windusy and get caught and get turned into a Wendigo, I and Josh and Chris are honor bound to go after your Windusy.
But that's not how Wendigos get made. It's not how it works.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how
You
it
have
works.
to
It
you have
doesn't
to
matter how
eat
it works.
people. You have to eat people to be a Wendigo.
It doesn't
And
matter
not
how
only
it
do you have,
works.
well, you can either eat people or you can be cursed. But like the
You
Ojibwa
can.
are the ones who have this story, which is also why
Uh-huh.
like I've seen a bunch of people that live in places far away from where Ojibwa live. And about,
Yes.
oh, we got the story of the Wendigo here. No, you fucking don't.
No.
You fucking don't. You don't.
Oklahoma
I'm just
Oklahoma claims they have it, but it's not the same.
no. That's it. You have skinwalkers that people are
Yes.
calling Wendigos because they're dumb and they're white. Okay, the the Anishinaabe are the ones who came up with the whole Wendigo thing, have the stories of the Wendigos, and it's because of people being snowed in. They eat their friends, they turn. That's the Wendigo. Unless
Uh-huh.
you can get snowed in there, first of all, you can't have a Wendigo. So if you live in the Southwest, I have news for you. Wendigos
Huh?
are not a thing there, no matter
If you
what.
you can join a Northern Wisconsin sex club, and I'm sure for enough money they'll let you.
But I mean, Wendigos are either the result of somebody who was snowed in on a lake, and it has to be like a spiritual lake, and they're snowed in, and then they eat their friends, and
Mhm.
they get turned, or they are somebody who is cursed through black magic. And in both cases, though, those stories are Anishinaabe, right? They're Ojibwa, and
Mhm.
that's where those stories come from. They do extend down now into the plains, but that's because the Sioux, after they left northern Minnesota with a bunch of guns gotten from the French, and proceeded to enact genocide halfway across the Great Plains, killing everyone they encountered, and then went, "Oh, but the Great Spirit gave us this land." They also took the story of the Wendigo that they had gotten from the Ojibwa down there, and
Mhm.
that's why it's there. But if you live in the Southeast, or you live in the South, or you live in the Southwest, or the West, your natives do not have stories of the Wendigos. That is not a thing. Stop saying it is. You're dumb. Shut up.
Oh, got your Winboosie in a knot, bro. Calm down.
It just annoys the shit. It's like been like days that I've been arguing with people on Facebook about this, and I'm like, "You're stupid." Like, dude, my girlfriend grew up on the St. Croix
Uh-huh.
reservation of the Ojibwa. Like, trust me,
I
I
know.
know what I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about.
I know. Oh, I know. My parents grew up in Oklahoma, Cherokee Nation. All right, let's talk about your friends at the FBI.
The FBI, the fibs.
Your friends at the FBI. The FBI groomed a 16-year-old with quote brain development issues to become a terrorist.
This is like deja vu because they've done this a lot.
A bunch, a bunch. The Whitmer kidnapping. What's his face had um, Adam. What's his
Fox.
face? Yeah, Adam Fox, and the other main one that they blamed. They
Yeah,
both
they called they.
had mental issues.
Yeah, and
Captain
they
Retard
yeah, and Captain Autism and
or
stuff.
Captain
Like
Autism. Yeah.
yeah, they knew that they were mentally handicapped,
Oh.
and like that's what. Well, remember there was that one years ago where they
Oh.
pretended to be some like Muslim chick
Yep.
to
Yep.
groom that
Yep.
high school student with Down syndrome,
Hmm.
and then arrested him because they're like, well, if you love me, then you're gonna go strap this bomb to your chest and go kill these people, basically. And
Yeah,
like,
and he said no, and he said
yeah,
no, and then they arrested him anyway.
yeah,
There's also the one in Southern California, the 16-year-old with Down syndrome, that they went so far trying to get him to sell drugs that they pretended to set up a tattoo parlor and actually had the kid get tattooed with their gang logo, like 16 years old. Um, but yeah, they do this all the time. This is just another example. So let's see. Last week, the Department of Justice announced the arrest of a teenager in Massachusetts on allegations of providing financial support to the Islamic State group. A flurry of reports picked up on the arrest of Mateo Ventura, an 18-year-old resident of the sleepy town of Wakefield, echoing government claims that the international terrorist financer and ISIS supporter had just been busted in the United States. The Department of Justice's own press release on the case likewise trumpeted Ventura's arrest for, quote, knowingly concealing the source of material support or resources that intended to go to foreign terrorist organizations. The only problem with the case and how it has been described, however, is that according to the government's own criminal complaint, Ventura never actually funded any terrorist group. The only, quote, terrorist he is accused of ever being in contact with as an undercover FBI agent who befriended him online as a 16-year-old, solicited small cash donations in the form of gift cards, and directed him to not tell anyone else about the intimate online relationship, including his family.
Wait. So all that happened is that this 18-year-old thinks that he's been befriended by the 16-year-old who then asks him for gift cards. He sends them gift cards.
Yes,
and they go, you were funding terrorism, except that never once was he knowingly funding terrorism. He was giving gift cards to a 16-year-old as far as he knew.
Yes.
Yes. Thank God for the FBI taking these dangerous supporters of terrorism off the street.
Yes. The arrest has shaken his family, who denied allegations that their son was a terrorist and said that he had been manipulated by the FBI. Ventura's father, Paul Ventura, told The Intercept that Mateo suffered from childhood development issues and had been forced to leave school due to bullying from other students. Quote, he was born prematurely. He had brain development issues. I had the school do a neurosurgery evaluation on him, and they said his brain was underdeveloped. He was suffering endless bullying at school when other kids taking food off his plate, tripping him in the hallway, humiliated him, and laughing at him. So this was a kid who reached out in an online forum or in some sort of chat room, some sort of social media, looking for friends. And in the course of finding a friend, sent them a few small gift cards and has now been arrested by the FBI and accused of funding ISIS.
Yeah, it says, contrary to the sensational narrative fed to the news media of terrorist financing in the U.S., the charging documents show that Ventura gave an undercover FBI agent gift cards for pitifully small amounts of cash, sometimes in $25 increments. In his initial bid to travel to the Islamic State, the teenager balked, making up an excuse by the FBI's own account to explain why he did not want to go. When another opportunity to travel abroad arose, Ventura balked again, staying home on the evening of his supposed flight instead of traveling to the airport. By the time the investigation was winding down, he appeared ready to turn in his purported ISIS contact, an FBI agent, to the FBI.
Yes. So they tried to talk him into getting on a plane, in which, of course, they would arrest him at that point, to the point where he was going to turn in the person to the FBI. And then the FBI arrested him.
Because how embarrassing would it be to have your undercover FBI agent be turned into other FBI, have to admit that they're an FBI agent, and that they've been manipulating a mentally disabled 18-year-old lonely kid.
It's like when back when the Detroit Narcotics Task Force was arrested by the county Narcotics Task Force when they went to go buy drugs from the county-run drug house. That's what this is. That's what this is. It's just another variation on that. And this was a lonely kid with developmental issues who was literally bullied out of school. So he had no real social interactions. So online became his social interaction. He found someone who was willing to talk to him, to the point where he felt okay, or again was either bullied into it or encouraged to do it, to send them small gift cards as little as $25. Right? Woo! Yeah, you're gonna buy some fucking nukes with $25 in gift card.
$25.
The fuck you gonna do with the $25 gift card?
Yes, the known preferred currency of international arms dealers, the $25 Google Play gift card.
Yeah, Amazon delivers to the third cave on the right. Like, come on. Yeah, it's the seventh tent on the left.
Hey, Abdullah, is that an Amazon drone or is that a Predator drone? I always seem to get confused.
Yeah. $25 gift card. Oh God, West is gonna fall now.
Yeah.
Balked to get on a plane twice. Again, I would seriously bet money he didn't want to get on that plane, but the other person insisted on it again and again and again, and he said okay to go along with it. My son has autism. I know how that works.
Yeah, he said okay, and then he just didn't go, which means that he never committed an overt act, and he didn't even know that what was happening is that these gift cards that he's buying are allegedly being used to support terrorism. He just knows that he's helping this kid out.
Yep. He thought it was helping out his friend. He thought his friend said they needed help. And a $25 gift card. Woo! You know. There's still so much remains to be known about Ventura's case, which remains in early stages. More information may still come to light as it moves from discovery and trial, including about dealings with the FBI and other activities online. Yet, based on the government's own account of what led to Ventura's arrest, there is reason to believe that the case is less a serious terrorism bust than one of the many instances in which a troubled or mentally unfit young man was groomed by undercover FBI agents to commit a crime that they would not have otherwise happened. Yeah, if the feds didn't groom people to be domestic terrorists, who would? Yes.
Why, if we didn't have the FBI grooming these mentally unfit children to become terrorists, we may run out of domestic terrorists to worry about. They're doing us a great service. Oh, by us, I mean, I guess they're doing themselves a great service. Oh.
Yeah.
Now I see. Yeah. This law enforcement tactic has been criticized by national security researchers who have scrutinized the FBI's role in manufacturing terrorism cases using vulnerable people who would have been unable to commit crimes without prolonged government assistance and encouragement. A 2014 Human Rights Watch report criticizing the use of informants in terrorism investigations said, quote, "In this way, the FBI may have created terrorists out of law-abiding individuals." End quote.
Hold on.
No shit.
Read that next paragraph real quick.
This FBI tactic was a mainstay of terrorism prosecutions for roughly 2 decades. While its use lately has waned, the Ventura case may indicate that authorities are still open to conjuring terrorists where none existed.
Looks like I jumped in at just the right time.
Yeah, let that sink in. Yeah.
Just in time to get pissed off.
Gee, do you mean that perhaps the FBI is guilty of entrapment, from because they're creating terrorists ex nihilo? That
Inciting
might be
terrorism.
a thing? Oh gosh. What a shock. The FBI? But they've always been such upright people since their inception in the 1920s when they poisoned thousands of people with poison liquor.
Just like the CIA is just a bunch of upstanding citizens.
Yep. All I'm saying is the Idaho GOP, they might be onto something. We talked about that. The Idaho GOP might be onto something. No.
Yeah, well,
this kid would have got off completely free if he just had a West Coast assistant.
He He needed that. He needed that special golf club membership.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm gonna need my balls washed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's this next one. There's still significant use of informants and undercover agents in FBI investigations who aren't just gathering information about potential crimes, but are actively suggesting ideas for crimes or making it easier for people to do the things that they claim they want to do, said Nazamad, acting director of the Creating Law Enforcement Accountability and Responsibility, or CLEAR project at the City University of New York School of Law. Quote, there are documented cases where the government has provided people everything that they needed to execute a plot. Informants and undercover agents have often been used as a tool in these investigations to prod things along, which is the fucking literal definition of agent provocateur, which is
Yes.
illegal in the United States.
The Whitmer kidnapping. The FBI agent led the training days. The days
Yeah.
that the team, quote unquote, the team went to the range and learned tactics. The FBI agent taught the tactics. The
I'm
FBI
shocked.
agents and the informants provided the weed for Adam Fox.
Yep.
Just oh,
That
but he's
is such a deep rabbit hole to go down, though. I mean, yeah, everybody knows about the Whitmer thing, especially our crew. You know, they all know about Whitmer. They know how the feds have just been dragging everybody down that way. You know, we've all talked about Ruby Ridge ad nauseum. We've talked about Waco ad nauseum, but that isn't all of it. Not even close. They're, you know, and especially when you look at the local law enforcement presences and how much influence they have in the agent provocateur category. Look at what happened in fucking St. Paul, Minneapolis, St. Paul, where that cop borrowed his girlfriend's gas mask to obscure his identity, went and smashed the windows at AutoZone in order to incite looting.
Yep. And then got outed by his girlfriend.
Yep. And then look at the fucking chode that they still can't track down from January 6th. Who told everybody, Mike Epps.
Yep.
Let's go. We're going to storm the Capitol. And then people are like, dude, fuck you. You know, the night before, they're all standing there yelling, Fed, Fed, Fed.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is. Paul Ventura said in 2001, armed FBI agents had visited his home, informed him that his son had been browsing websites, quote, that he shouldn't be looking at, and connected him with what they said was a counselor. After the initial visit, he said he had no knowledge of his son's ongoing communications with the FBI undercover agent online. Quote, 2 years ago, the FBI came to my house and they took his computer and said he's on these sites he shouldn't be on. We said, okay. And he wasn't arrested at that time or anything. I didn't hear from them again after that, but I guess over time things escalated. I wasn't home a lot because I work, and he wasn't at school because of the bullying. Instead of them telling me he's doing what he's doing online and take his computer away, they just let him keep doing it.
Because they wanted him to do it.
Yes. So the facts of the case against Mateo Ventura laid out in the government's criminal complaint in detail how the relationship developed with the FBI. In August 2021, when he was 16 years old. So again, this is a 16-year-old kid who has been pulled from school because of the bullying over his mental disorder. So again, this is a 16-year-old kid who's not in school due to bullying over his mental disorder. Right? What is a 16-year-old kid going to do? Right? He's going to spend time online, social media. He's still a 16 years old kid.
Yep.
And he friends someone who asks him at some point to send them a gift card for $25. And then that becomes somehow he's supporting ISIS with a $25 gift card with someone that friended him online.
the major support for terrorism, the $25 gift card.
Woo! Yeah.
Let's completely sweep under the rug the billions in aid the U.S. gives to terrorists around the world.
That the U.S. is still giving to ISIS.
Oh yeah,
They're giving it to ISIS right now because ISIS is fucking with Iran.
yeah.
You mean like the $6 billion that the agency may or may not have just given to Wagner?
Which was
backed
literally the Russian January 6th.
right?
Yeah. Except
Well,
people
and,
actually died as a result of violence.
Right. And
Ashley Babbitt
think about the
killed.
material. Yeah. Think about the material aid that the U.S. government gave to the Taliban, and now the Taliban in Iran might be going to war.
The Taliban are actively like the largest group single-handedly fighting ISIS right now, which is a sentence that I never thought I would ever utter. What fucking dimension am I in?
That is the most 2023 sentence I've heard.
Yeah,
probably in a couple of months.
The Taliban is fighting ISIS.
Yes.
Yeah.
They hate each other.
It was the Taliban that eliminated Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it drew attention to him.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even just that. It's so, I don't know, man. The Taliban's complicated, right? Yeah. They're fundamentalist, but like they hate Iran because they're not that fundamentalist.
They're beefing with Iran right now over a river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same thing as like remember the Operation Nimrod, right? The gunman takeover of the Iranian embassy in London in 1980.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. That was because Iran, after the revolution, was subjugating the ethnic Arabs in the southwest part of Iran so badly because those Arabs were not extremist Muslims like Khomeini was. So they were hitting them hard, and Saddam Hussein, also not being an extremist Muslim, I realize that may shock people, but go ahead, look it up. Not even remotely close. Hussein was like, oh, well, we'll support you and convince them to go do shit. And then abandon them because, that's how that shit works. But like, everybody's in bed with everybody else when it comes to the Middle East.
Yes.
But
it's a big club and you're not in it.
Which is disappointing because
it's a big,
kind of like Buckshot says, I could use a crate of AKs and a new Hilux.
Dude, there was that where was that? Was that Turkey?
You just got to get someone to send you a $25 gift card.
Was that Turkey or was that like Iraq? Or that they found that like entire like massive like 2 or 3 crates worth of MP40s, like still something in like Cosmoline
and everything.
It was
in Turkey. I think it was Turkey.
I think it was like Turkey, and like everyone and their brother was trying to buy them, and then they disappeared. I don't know who wound up with their hands on them. Probably the Merchant of Death, who we traded for a drug smuggling female basketball player.
I'll hold my tongue on that one. Oh,
my attorney has advised me not to comment on this.
Oh, like everything horrible in Africa during the 1990s that you can remember, the 80s and 90s, all the horrible wars and everything. He's the reason those happened. And we let him go after a massive operation to get him out of Russia so we could arrest him. We let him go because a drug smuggling female basketball player was in, probably. I don't know, but
I don't have questions. I mean, she very well may be the Leah Thomas of the WNBA.
My God. Okay. All right. So we got to get back to this article. If you scroll down a little bit, it actually says the two settled on him buying a $25 Google Play gift card and sending the redemption code to the FBI agent.
Did I not tell you?
$25 Google Play gift card. That is material support to ISIS.
as I said,
Google,
right?
a Google Play gift
Oh,
card is
God.
material support to ISIS.
See, and
Jesus
that's
fuck.
why I said earlier, yes, the noted currency of the international arms dealer, preferred currency, the international arms dealer,
Google
the
Play.
Google Play gift card.
Yep.
Oh man,
I mean, this is so bad. You can't
Them-
make this
them-
shit up. You could not make this up in a book.
those in-game purchases for Bejeweled just add up so fast.
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, there you go. Oh,
Maybe those ISIS terrorists
not
just
enough-
really
not
wanted to
enough-
play Final Fantasy on their phone in the cave.
Yep, not enough corn on his farm. That's what it is. Farmville, that's still a thing, right?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Last time I heard anything about Farmville, it was like 2008.
Yeah, over the next 2
I'm
years,
old.
Ventura continued sending small amounts of cash through gift cards to the FBI agent, mostly through gaming stores like Steam, PlayStation Network, and Google Play. The amount of the transactions over 2 years added up to $965.
As opposed to the billions that the U.S. gives to ISIS.
$900.
Woo! Big
That doesn't
spender.
even buy a single RPG round. Oh, material support to he was buying him. Yeah,
It
because
was
as we
Google
all
Play
know,
gift cards. He couldn't trade
and
it for an
Steam,
RPG
and
round
Steam.
anyway.
And
and
Steam.
Steam and PSN. Yes, because as we all know, those hardcore terrorists would never be able to wage war.
without the COD
if they
loot crate.
couldn't- I was
Yeah.
gonna say, if they couldn't find a way to manage to upgrade their character in fucking WoW. All right, like
Well, I think on Steam now you can get COD games. Maybe that's where they're learning tactics.
Yeah.
I really hope so. I really deeply hope that they're learning tactics from Call of Duty
No, they're-
because it will make
no,
them
no,
very
no.
easy to beat.
They're
ha-
still
they
playing
have to-
Counter-Strike as the terrorists.
They have to get the COD loot crates so that they can upgrade their character for their Twitch streams, which
That's actually how
that-
they're funding it. Yes.
yeah, that's how they're funding it is their Twitch
What
stream.
are the fucking ISIS, the underwear gnomes? Like the
Oh my goodness, yeah.
what is
And this kid's facing like 25 years now for
Yeah,
buying
for his gift card
for giving Steam dollars
to an
to
FBI
undercover
agent.
FBI agent.
to put in perspective how clearly mentally not all there this kid is, he assured the undercover FBI agent that he would teach himself Arabic very fast in case he traveled to Egypt on behalf of the group.
Oh,
Marinate on that sentence for a while and all of the problems with it. Just first of all, you don't need to speak Arabic in Egypt. They
Nope.
speak English.
They speak English pretty well.
Second of all, you don't teach yourself any language very fast. And third of all, certainly not
Especially not a-
Arabic.
especially not a person with a mental defunct.
I mean, there are certain mental defects that make you better at picking up foreign languages and things of that nature.
No,
But-
I think he was just autistic.
I agree, but
Well.
I'm just saying that there are mental defects that
Yeah.
make that easier. But I don't think this was one of them.
He's not Rain Man. No. So, but
You know, these FBI agents that prey on these kids and whatnot, they belong in the wood chipper with the rest.
yes.
Or maybe we can convince them to maybe funnel some government funds to that ocean company to build another carbon fiber submersible and take them all down to the Titanic.
So get this. So he tries in January of 2023.
hmm
He turns 18. He gets back in contact with the FBI agent. Says, "I'm sorry, I've been very communicative." That's after he told him he'd hurt himself, and that's why he couldn't go on that first flight, right?
Yes.
Right.
So he takes a video of himself, sends it over the chat, says, "Look, I have a beard now." The FBI agent, "Oh, you're strong, look like a lion," right? He sends him another $25 Google Play gift certificate, which he was assured would be used for jihad.
And before trying and failing to book several flights due to apparent lack of access to a credit card.
You guys said
Yeah.
before, you can't make this shit up. Like, if you were to write a novel featuring some sort of entrapment case or anything like that, you couldn't make this up. That's how ridiculous it is.
Well, get this. So instead of boarding the flight, so eventually he's able to book a Turkish Airlines flight to Egypt on April 10th. Now, Egypt, there's nothing barring an American citizen from flying to Egypt.
Yes.
Right.
In fact, lots of American citizens fly to Egypt. If you haven't been, you should go. It's beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful country, great food, the sights to see. I recommend checking out Luxor. Anyway.
Yeah, go look at the pyramids.
Yeah, right. And this happens all the time. Instead of boarding the flight or even leaving his residence on the night it was scheduled, Ventura contacted the FBI's National Threat Operations Center and reported a tip stating in a rambling message that he wanted, quote, $10 million in duffel bags in exchange for information on future terrorist attacks. I known you thought I am retarded fool, but joke's on you. I will not admit I sent this or communicate until the cash is delivered, the message said, according to the criminal complaint in the case. Does this sound like the response of someone who knows what the fuck is going on?
Yes.
This sounds like an absolute criminal mastermind.
Right? Ha ha ha. I know this one 16-year-old who keeps having me send him $25 Google Play gift cards. Give me $10 million in duffel bags and I'll stop the next 9/11. Like,
right.
With everything going on, like, literally nobody has been prosecuted for 2020, right? All the destruction, all the things, like the few people that
well,
have
the cop
been,
was
the few people that have been charged were caught obviously on video, you know, like the George Floyd thing, right? Or the lawyer that threw a Molotov at the police station, right? There's a couple things like that, but the people that looted, that destroyed, that burnt down Targets, that burnt down.
They were all
small
encouraged to
businesses.
fucking do it, and then
Yes.
and then especially the Democrats were
Mhm.
putting together GoFundMe's to bail them all out when they did get arrested.
Yes. The FBI is not going after those people, but they arrested preachers and pastors for holding sermon, and they arrested this kid for $25 Google Play gift cards.
Yep.
well, and get this. So it goes on. Ventura called the FBI again several times in the coming days, telling them that he wanted to help with terror and again offering to help stop a future ISIS terrorist attack and to provide information about people who were facilitating travel for the group in exchange for cash and legal immunity for himself. On April 20th, according to the affidavit, he was informed in a phone call from the FBI that the information he had provided was, quote, not specific and therefore not actionable. Meanwhile, as his attempts to blow the whistle on the FBI's own informant in exchange for millions of dollars of cash appeared to stall, Ventura continued communicating with their undercover operative online, apologizing for missing his flight and inquiring other ways he might travel to join ISIS. On May 16th, he sent another Google Play gift card to the agent with a value of $45. Ooh.
I'm in the money.
The interactions continued until Ventura was arrested in early June and charged with one count of, quote, knowingly concealing the source of material support or resources to a foreign terrorist organization, referencing to the gift card donations he has spent years sending it to the FBI during their chats online.
And I want to respond to Dave really quick. He said in Omaha, they dropped all 475 something charges and only went after a guy that shot someone while protecting his dad. In Minneapolis, the only person who was charged with any kind of a crime up there, aside from Derek Chauvin, was a shop owner who shot a looter who broke in their front window.
So,
And that was because he had firearms. He was an FFL, and he was trying to prevent them from getting the firearms that he had in the store.
yeah. So, but now, yeah, the kid was arrested and he faces 10 years in prison. If convicted of charges of providing material support to a terrorist group.
You know, that's a valid point. At least they admit they're a terrorist organization.
Yeah. Although news reports echoed the Justice Department's portrayal of the arrest as the foiling of a nascent Islamic State funding operation in the U.S., there is literally no indication in the allegations against him that Ventura had ever been in touch with the terrorist organization. And again, as we all know, all terrorist organizations depend on those $25 Google Play gift cards in order to wage jihad.
The Google Play is just to make sure you're good. Then they start asking for Steam.
So they can get the good skin for their Twitch followers to
exactly.
Look at. When you know they really have somebody hooked is when they start demanding those Xbox what's the gaming the Xbox Ultimate Gaming Pass
payments.
Yes. Yep.
The annual subscription to PSN.
It's gotten real serious now.
What did Daphne Bell know about Osama bin Laden? That has to be the connection right there. What did the Twitch streamers know about Osama bin Laden?
About as much as they know about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. All right. We beat this to death, right? We don't need to go back on it anymore.
I think the moral of this story is that what's her face? Amaranth is clearly an ISIS operative.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yeah. They should just stop doing Twitch and become West Coast assistants.
I'm going to end up going back to rewatch the first half of this because I missed something.
Hunter, it's about a very special golf club.
Oh,
Hunter
Biden.
Hunter Biden wrote off prostitutes on his tax as tax deductible
business expenses.
And one of them was for his quote West Coast assistant.
Yep. I remember reading a news article about that.
All right,
now I got it.
All right, okay, I got one for you guys. Okay, ready for this? This is breaking news. This will undo a prohibition that has been in place since 1951. Right? So 72 years. For 72 years, this prohibition has been in place. Oregon's self-serve gas ban voted out by lawmakers after decades. Oregon lawmakers on Wednesday voted to end a prohibition on self-serve gas that has been in place since 1951. House Bill 2426 will require gas stations to staff at least half of their open pumps for people who want assistance, but it would also allow other pumps to be open for self-serve. Stations are prohibited from charging different prices at self-serve or unattended pumps.
Remember when Washington did this and they all freaked out? What am I supposed to do? How do I operate the machine?
New Jersey is where that happened.
Oh, is it New Jersey? Where they're like, I don't understand how to, and they were like filling like plastic bags with gasoline, and it's how helpless and stupid are you?
Yes,
they've never traveled outside the state. And you know, I laugh so hard at shit like this because I think within 100-mile radius of where I live, I can think of 2 gas stations that still have a full service pump.
Mm-hmm. I know of one, and it's a mom and pop drive-through dairy thingy.
Yep, they're both of the ones that I know of are both mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
The one is also an auto shop, so they have full service auto repair and all that shit right there. And
so, but yeah, Oregonians can
now pump their own fucking gas.
Pump their own gas. Yep.
Just in time for them to ban fossil fuels.
After 72 years.
The rest of the country, meanwhile, has been doing it all along and looks at them and goes, no wonder you people are the way that you are. Everyone has held your hand to do literally everything an adult should be able to do, including pumping their own gas.
Yeah. Just think about that. There's 50-year-old people. There's people that have been driving for 60-something years in Oregon
And never pumped their own
that
gas.
never pumped their own gas.
Yep.
It baffles. It's hilarious.
It boggles your mind.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to be like, well, I've never changed my own oil, or
Yes,
I've
I agree.
never done my own brakes, right?
Yes.
Or
That's
I
one
would even
thing.
say I would even say it's one thing to say I've never had to change a tire.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never changed a tire. I've never, like, you know what? I get that, because I would rather pay someone else to do all of those things for me, because
I don't want to
really
crawl
wanna do 'em.
around on the ground and get dirty in my new clothes. Right?
Yeah, I don't really want to do them.
I see
But
that shit don't bother me. I do most of my own shit.
I'd rather drop the car off, pick it back up, and then get back to driving, which is what I do.
Mhm.
I'm a driver. I'm not a mechanic. But like your own gas?
Your own gas. Yes.
Are you okay? So instruction time. You take it off of the thing and you flip the little lever up.
They have PSAs.
Seriously?
Oregon has PSAs that come on the TV.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be signage
on the websites, on YouTube. They'll have instructions, like they'll have newspaper articles that will have instructions on how to do it. Yep.
Buckshot.
Yeah, I know. I love this. You know, the best part is I knew families like this.
Yep.
Where
I
it would
was
be
the
really,
poor
really
kid who had to
cold.
go outside and pump gas when it was fucking cold out.
There's like three things that our kids are really like made for. Bring me another beer from the fridge, go pump the gas, and go open the gate.
Yep. Let the dogs out.
Let the dogs out.
Let the dogs out. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are why you have children, really.
Yeah.
It's those things.
And then as they become teenagers, you go, all right, go split some wood, go weed the garden.
If they're 5 and they're strong enough, they can go split wood. What are you talking about?
No.
They can weed the garden at 5 too, but
well, if you have a
they yearn for the mine.
I was gonna say we stopped in 1915. We stopped allowing children in the United States into coal mines.
They yearn for the mine.
And now in 2015 they started obsessing over
that's
Minecraft.
This is
clearly the children yearn for the mines.
That's why kids become West Coast assistants. It's because we don't allow them in the mines anymore.
No.
What's the Ron Swanson thing? The Ron Swanson thing where he's like, at 11 years old, I started on the factory floor of a foundry or whatever. And he's like, by the time I was 15, I was shift manager. I love this
Scott,
country.
Dude, Blazer died. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I know Blazer was hurting, but
oh man,
damn, I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, you finally
hats off to the
Rainbow
Blazer.
Bridge,
man.
Yeah.
Forgive the glare, but hats off to the pooch, man.
Yeah, Blazer. That put a damper. I put a damper.
That's sad.
Yeah, it did. But on a lighter note, they yearn for the mines. There's a reason why Wind Rose made the song "Diggy Diggy Hole."
Yeah,
I mean,
my grandfather, my dad's dad, he was a West Virginia guy.
Yep.
He was in the mines at 14.
In the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky.
I have some friends that live out there that do still coal mine, and I played that song for one of them, and he said, "I am going to take that and put it on the sound system in the mine."
Yeah,
Diggy Diggy Hole.
So they played Diggy Diggy Hole on repeat for an entire 12-hour shift. And it was their best productive shift in like 5 years.
Yeah, my aunt, my dad's older sister just bought 300 acres in West Virginia.
Oh.
And they are literally in the middle of nowhere.
Nothing wrong with that.
As
I
as the
love
as the
mountains
crow
out there.
flies, they are 40 miles from town.
You know,
Nice.
as long as you have a nice, clean spring
Yes.
on the property, I can think of what to do on a bunch of rural property in West Virginia.
Everything.
I would very
Everything.
happily move to
Mm.
West Virginia to that kind of land because
Yep.
I got some ideas
got it.
for a business.
All right, let's jump on this last one. This is out of Montana. 20 heavily armed IRS and ATF agents raid Great Falls gun store, seize firearm purchase records.
This story pissed me off to no end.
Oh, but
What
don't
pisses
worry,
me
there's
off,
no national registry or anything.
what pisses me off the most is that there's no fucking updates for it.
No, there isn't.
There's the story from like 6 days ago, and then there's some article from 4 days ago, and there's an interview with him on Fox News like 2 days ago.
Yep.
And that's it.
And you've had a couple of like blurbs come out here and there from random people in Congress saying that they need to open an inquiry, but that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's it. Yeah. In an unprecedented move, 20 armed IRS agents and Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, that's ATF, agents carried out a raid at a gun store in Great Falls, Montana, seizing all Form 4473 documents that record buyers' information during firearms transactions. Okay, per the law, they are not allowed to seize 4473s. They are allowed to copy. They are allowed to photograph. They are allowed to document.
Yes.
But they are not allowed, per their own rules, to seize 4473s.
Now that's the ATF is not allowed to seize.
VSO,
it wasn't the ATF that seized them. It was the fucking IRS that took them.
Kurt over at VSO on YouTube, he did a really good video on the laws that the IRS and ATF broke when they raided.
Yeah, the only time the ATF is allowed to
it's not just the IRS and the ATF. We'll get into that, but it's not just the IRS and the ATF.
But the only time the ATF is allowed to retain or take 4473s like that is if you A, lose your FFL, or B, surrender it.
Yes.
What was it that we just talked about? They think they can do whatever they want, and it's time someone stood up to them. I believe was a quote from earlier in the show.
Yeah, Tom Van Hoose, Hoose. Hoose. We're gonna go with Hoose.
Yeah, I think so.
Hoose. Yeah.
Tom Van Hoose, owner of Highwood Creek Outfitters, alleges that he had been under constant surveillance by state and federal agents for over 2 years. On Wednesday, the gun shop owner reported an unexpected visit by 20 heavily armed IRS and ATF agents at his store. The agents reportedly arrived at the shop early in the morning as Van Hoose was opening for the day. Quote, "We have now confirmed that both the IRS and ATF were at Highland Creek Outfitters in Great Falls around 7 a.m. this morning. Both IRS and ATF agents would not say why they were there." That's KMON radio.
Because they're fuckwads.
A spokesman for the IRS would only say that they were there in an official IRS business. Again, a spokesman for the IRS said that they were there on official IRF or IRS business. The ATF said it was providing assistance to the IRS. "We attempted to enter the store today and were stopped by agents at the door who would only say that the gun store was closed and that it will reopen tomorrow." According to Hoose, the federal scrutiny began 2 years ago and has involved various agencies, including the FBI, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, the Department of Homeland Security, and now the IRS.
What the fuck is this guy doing? Why the hell would OSHA get involved with this?
It has to be like a former employee that he fired filed a complaint, right, for OSHA to get involved.
It's about the only thing that makes sense,
right? So,
what it is and what this smacks of what I think the legal term is trawling, right? There's fishing investigations and there's trawling, where what they're doing is every possible federal agency is getting involved in a single investigation because something may come up that one of them has the purview to violate them.
Which is why they confiscated all the 4473s.
Right.
Yes.
This is trolling. This is straight up expressly forbidden by the Supreme Court.
Yes. Okay. Quote: Van Hoos told MTN News, that's Montana Today News or something like that. MTN News, quote, they must think we're making a fortune in the gun business to investigate us like this, assuming we're hiding thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. However, anyone familiar with the gun business profit margins would know that's not the case. Gun businesses, they operate on like a 2 to 3% markup, right? So
If they're
they're
lucky.
For
Yeah.
the firearms themselves, yeah, it's
Yeah.
the accessories and the ammo and stuff like that where they get a bit more.
Yes.
But that's
Van Hoos claims that he was simply told that his business had been reported, although he remains in the dark about who reported it and why. He believes the whole episode was politically motivated. Quote, I can only assume that it's because of the style of weapons that we have and the press that's so against them. The current administration seems to be hell-bent on getting these guns out of the hands of the average Americans.
Yeah, it's about figuring out in preparation of trying for a ban. It's about figuring out who has them.
Yes.
yes.
The day's
It's always
operation.
been about that.
The day's operations were disrupted, leading to a significant loss in revenue. Quote, I had about 30 minutes to operate, making just a single $16 sale, host said. Highland Creek Outfitters is America's largest online firearms and accessories mail. Sorry, Highland Creek Outfitters is America's largest online firearms and accessories mall, according to the website. The store is known for selling what Van Hoos calls fun guns, including AR-15s and AK-47s. The Great Falls Police Department confirmed that it was informed about the investigation and provided security. So the local cops knew and provided security for the federal agents.
And this is a place where the local law enforcement
Yes.
goes to use the indoor range at this location routinely as part of their training and all of that stuff. So they all
this
know
is
this guy.
Montana.
Yes. So if you don't think that the local Smokies
Yes.
are going to bow down to the feds when they show up to do shit,
Yep.
here's your fucking wake up call.
State Rep Rosendale said in a statement, quote, I'm incredibly disturbed by the initial reports that the IRS and ATF closed Highland Creek Outfitters without any warning today. This is yet another example of the Biden administration weaponizing federal agencies to target and harass hardworking Americans. We cannot allow Biden to continue expanding these agencies to infringe on our liberties.
But they're not going to stop it. The only thing that stops it is somebody standing up to it.
Yes. I'm just saying, the Idaho GOP took a big step.
Yeah.
With what they did. Right. I mentioned it earlier. Idaho GOP was taken over by true conservatives. They ousted the rhinos to take over the party. And the very first thing they did was unanimously vote to condemn the FBI
and ban them,
and to say that they should be banned from the state of Idaho.
So is that what it was? It says they should be banned or they are banned.
It should be banned, right? It's a token statement. It's an absolute token statement, right? There's no power to it. But yeah, it's a hell of a statement. So,
yeah, I didn't get to be on for that article, but
no.
I mean, realistically, I could see that as kind of a shot across the bow towards, fuck you guys, keep it up and we're out.
Yeah. I mean, Idaho's the center of the redoubt. As Idaho goes, so does the rest of the region.
Yeah, I mean, I could
east of the Cascades, west of I-15. Yeah, that whole area. Yeah. So, yeah.
And good luck trying to wage a civil war going through the Rocky Mountains. Good fucking luck.
It'll work out well.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
for
Yeah, it's
somebody.
like going into
Yeah,
Russia,
exactly.
like
For somebody.
invading Russia in winter. Yeah,
Yeah,
truly
it
works.
works out real well.
Kind of
for
like how
somebody.
the Swiss set up for an eventual Nazi
Mm-hmm.
invasion.
Yeah,
The way they set up their readout. Oh,
every man has a gun, and then set up explosives in the passes.
hidden,
You're
yeah,
trapped
and hidden
in,
hard
you're
points
trapped in here with
everywhere.
us now.
machine gun nests
Mhm.
all the way along the mountain valley.
Yep, you're trapped in here with us now.
Yep.
Yeah, remember, I'm
We're gonna
not trapped
cave
in
in
here
that
with
mountain
you.
over there.
Yep. No.
Yep.
All right, you guys. I don't know. You guys got like a minute and a half each on this. Go ahead.
Mine's short and sweet. Buy some coffee, support the show.
I was on the Montana thing.
Oh,
The confiscation of the 4473s.
It's illegal as fuck and eat shit.
Yeah. Send bachelors come heavily armed.
More or less, yeah.
This is why I don't buy guns from gun stores.
I grew up. Yep.
This right here. Yeah, I grew up in the Wish a Motherfucker woods.
I love this patch.
Well, you see, Andrew, there's a reason why if I do buy from
And don't forget,
store,
Montana.
I only buy from a specific store.
Yeah. Montana has a Montana Firearms Freedom Act.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Same as the Idaho Firearms Freedom Act and the Wyoming Firearms Freedom Act. So the fact that the local cops would side with the IRS and the ATF and provide security for the feds while they're raiding this gun store
illegally
is illegal. Yeah, it's abominable. It's abominable.
And it's incredibly predictable because here's the thing. If you're under the impression that your local cops wouldn't, I assure you your local cops absolutely would. None of them are your friends. None of them are your allies. Do not count on a single one of them to be on your side. Assume that none of them are, because the moment a Fed shows up and flashes a badge, they're going to go, yes, sir, no, sir. What can I do for you, sir?
Paychecks over principles.
The only local law enforcement official that may be willing to tell the feds to fuck off is your local sheriff. Mm-hmm. So get to know your local sheriff.
Yep.
Get on his good side, especially if you know that they're
you don't have to get on his good side. Organize.
Organize
and get your people. Organize and get your person voted in.
And but the bottom line is the local sheriff is the most powerful local government official. Mm-hmm. He has the ability to tell the feds to eat shit.
Yep.
So that's if you're gonna make change, that's the place to make change.
No. All right, let's throw some links and get out of here.
Coffee, you need it.
Coffee brand
Buy
coffee.
some coffee brand coffee. Use the link. Andrew, go.
It's in our link tree.
Yep. You'll find all of our links on the link tree for thebeardstruggle.com. You'll find links for Reaper brand apparel. You'll find links for RK Spookware for Lions Not Sheep. You'll find links for a whole bunch of other stuff. Dave, who supports us and watches the show periodically, you'll find links for Poppins Patches. Is he still doing the giveaway? I don't remember if that's still. I think that's still going on, right?
Yes. Once he reaches, I want to say it's 1,000 followers on Instagram. He will give away a 6x6x6 box of patches that, according to him, contains 69 patches.
Nice.
Nice.
So,
Tyler,
go to that,
up, brother. Libertarian Podcast Review is in the chat.
Yes. So make sure you check out our link tree. You support the people who support us. We appreciate it. We appreciate them. We'd appreciate you appreciating them. We'd appreciate them appreciating you, appreciating them, appreciating us.
All right, we don't need to go 10 layers deep on this.
We know that they would appreciate the fact that we appreciate that you would. Anyway, all the links are in the link tree.
Make me text Pumpkin to come in there and slap the shit out of you.
Man, it's just in any case.
She would do it if I asked.
Yeah, she would too. but yeah, the support the people who support us. We'd really appreciate it. You get yourself cool stuff. You get cool discounts. It would be awesome if you did those things, and we'd like it.
Yep. On that note, we'll